doesn't happen well, if we have urban, sprawling, I'll go back to you.
You can
And
come
the
back to
next
me.
guy is gonna
You can
say,
come back to me.
the other guy lied.
You can come back to me.
I have
2
the video.
minutes.
Carlos Jimenez,
2
I live
minutes,
at
thanks.
4061
And
South
another
Main
thing,
Road.
I try to ask those questions on your website, but on the website, you only can show support for the expressway. You can't show
I
if
hear
you're
you, I
against it.
understand you're against it, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay,
Next
thank you.
speaker, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
My name is Josue Borbola. I live in 5382 Southwest 164th Place, very close to 167th Avenue. I've worked for almost 25 years for United Parcel Service in Doral. I lived near Doral in Fountain Blue, and it would take me close to 45 minutes to get to 25th Street, even though I was closer because everyone was rushing to the same area. Now it takes me about an hour to get there, and I actually use 167th as an alleviation to get to the other arteries. Well, the Kendall Parkway, when you build it to alleviate, cause more of a bottleneck into our neighborhoods? And if so, would it be possible, because I have a 2-year-old, in the quiet neighborhoods that we live in now, would it be possible to put speed bumps or some type of
Where do you live, sir?
5382 Southwest 164th Place.
5382 Southwest what?
164 Place.
164 Place, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a quiet neighborhood right now,
Right.
and we all probably have used Waze at one point or another, and I know that sometimes it takes you through side streets, and I'm afraid now, when everyone's coming west to get on the Kendall Parkway, there might be zigzagging through our neighborhoods where if we have some type of,
You probably have people going east right now, trying to zigzag through your street. Is that
well,
what's
I'm
going on?
almost at the end of Miller, so 167th and Miller, there's really no one.
Okay.
Whoever lives on the west side closest to 167, I would think, like right now, I just came from Miramar. The way I got to Miramar is I took Chrome. I took 167, 8th Street. Chrome was a straight shot. Nobody was on it.
Right.
On my way back, I took the improved highways, which is the Palmetto and the 836, and it took me, I got here late. It took me about an hour and a half to get here.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm all for improving traffic for everyone. I don't want to be selfish, but I think what the commissioner said about 172nd
2
Avenue,
minutes, 2 minutes.
Fair enough. You want to move west also?
that, and if possible, if there can be some type of speed bumps or something in the neighborhoods to,
That's something that we'll work with your commissioner on in
so
terms
that
of
there's no
looking at.
speeding through the
Okay.
neighborhoods.
If you have people speeding through, then we can look at traffic calming devices. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Barbara. My address is 3931 Southwest 154 Core.
Okay.
Yo no me expreso muy bien en inglés. ¿Pudiera hacerlo en español?
¿Qué?
¿Pudiera expresarme en español? ¿Qué me pasó?
Si es más fácil para usted, yo puedo hablar español, sí. Okay.
Ok, yo tengo también una familia, viven niños en mi hogar. A veces hay que salir de mi casa 1 hora antes para poder llegar a tiempo. Yo tengo que coger el 836 todos los días para mi trabajo y estoy más de 30 minutos en un tramo cortísimo de mi casa a la 137 Avenida. Este proyecto a mí me beneficia, muchísimo me beneficia a mí, como creo que va a beneficiar a toda la comunidad que vive en mi área, porque vamos a tener un expressway cerca y vamos a también aliviar la ciudad, el tráfico que tenemos en la ciudad. Así es que muchísimas gracias por el proyecto. Estoy apoyándolo 100%.
Muchas gracias a ustedes. Gracias, señor. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, good evening. My name is Holly Rudd. I live on 7324, 164 Court. However, born and raised in Miami, I did grow up off of Chrome Avenue and 100th Street. So I do know what it's like to have to clean your home, to have to clean your pool, and have all the debris and dirt and dust that comes from Chrome Avenue off into your home. Do you understand what I'm saying? The only thing that I am proposing or suggesting in respect is to move that 167 over, Because I can tell you firsthand, I grew up and I cleaned it. Our family was impacted off of Chrome Avenue and 100th Street, the debris, the dust from the heavy
Right.
traffic.
Yeah.
So I'm just asking respectfully, you know, quality of life. I'm all for compromise, but, you know, if you could push it over, greatly
Right.
appreciate it. We're impacted on both ends, on Chrome and on 167. So if you could push it, that'd be great.
Okay.
My second question, can someone in your team explain where the elevated parts of this will be with your green laser?
Sure.
In detail?
I don't have the green laser at my disposal, but I'll do my best.
But you have to be short, because we have about 25
Let me
more.
go and I'll be short. Number 2 and number 4, you see them at the top there?
Number 2 and 4, so those are the elevated
That's the
areas of
C4
the highway.
impoundment and that's the Tensuco wetland. Very sensitive areas for a multitude of reasons. We will
Okay.
be elevated in that section, which is
Okay.
right around 8th Street.
Perfect.
Then there's a few other places where there's environmental sensitivity of some sort or cultural sensitivity of some sort that we're gonna have to bridge.
Okay,
At the interchanges over Kendall, for example, we'll have a bridge.
Right.
But the main portion that'll be elevated, it's up in that area where number 2 and 4 are.
okay. Last suggestion. I'm a huge tree hugger. I know we've lost a lot of trees with the hurricanes. I do feel that sometimes the city does plant the incorrect trees in an area that is not for the allotted space. We have plenty of natives that should be set
Yes.
within the park area, so
Yes.
whoever is the landscaper,
Yeah.
to please be a little more sensitive, because some trees just don't deal with the
It'll
hurricanes.
be in line with the.
All natives
With the
is what I'm
environment.
suggesting.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
going to
you.
call a couple more.
Yes, ma'am.
Alfredo Diaz, Isabel Martel, Victor Hernandez, and Yvette Dilan.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Michelle Garcia. I live at 16207 Southwest 44th Lane. Not quite 167th, but close enough to not like it, especially because I just moved out here in November to get away from the noise. And now I'm moving back into the noise, so I am absolutely, completely against this.
Okay.
And first thing is, put it on the ballot. Don't come to a meeting like this where people all can't show up, because I'm sorry, 6:30 at night, getting out here when people end work at 6, it's not fair. We have a big election coming in November, put it on the ballot. Let the actual people physically impacted, every single district that hugs that line, let them vote for it. Because that's where people are really gonna speak. And I have a nice long list of things. I'm probably gonna go over the 2 minutes. I'm forewarning you now. Speak over me, I'll speak over you. 2 missing studies so far that I've heard just sitting here. Oh, let me preface this. I actually came here with an open mind thinking maybe you'd convince me otherwise. I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, it didn't work because my degrees are in English and marketing, and the team who put this together, great job at using buzzwords which are intended to sway people to thinking it's a good thing. But it's not. And the reason it's not is because you're putting a Band-Aid over a gaping wound. We have a traffic problem because instead of spending money on trains, we keep putting roads. And roads don't decrease cars, roads add cars. Anyone who tells you otherwise, I'm sorry,
Ma'am,
they're
that
not
is
right.
about one of the dumbest things I've ever heard, that
It's-
roads add
They actually do,
They
because
do?
they do. Because
So they
you're
pop
gonna-
up, as you make a road, they start popping up?
Yes, because you're opening a road, you're opening a pathway to development, because you're saying it's not gonna happen. But we don't have a moratorium, we have a 2/3 majority. And 2/3 votes sadly can happen, which it makes me nervous. So if there was a plan for more trains that was solid, then I'd be more comfortable. I travel a lot for work. I've been to DC, I've been to New York, and I see tons of cities with beautiful train systems that run east and west. And for some reason, in Miami-Dade, our trains never go east and west. And I remember the half-cent sales tax, and I knew it was a lie way back when, and I'm not even...
It's 2 minutes. Sorry.
I remember that. I hear you. I'm
2
gonna try and
minutes.
be, I'm gonna try and be fast.
We have a lot of speakers still left,
I
ma'am.
appreciate
Please
that, but I
respect.
accept them.
Next
Thank you,
speaker, ma'am.
Ma'am, thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Mayor, Laura Reynolds, 20715 Leeward Lane, Cutler Bay, Florida, 33189. And as you know, I am against this plan. I've said it many times before. And here are my questions for you and my suggestions. Number one, how do you get away with, number 7, impacting in your own comp plan a well field protection area and a shall not be considered in your LU8G of your comprehensive master plan? You don't have to answer that right now.
Yeah, I can get people to answer. Come on. Let's go.
I
won't answer.
All right.
Let's go.
This isn't eating up my 2 minutes, is it?
No, I stopped the watch.
Hi, Laura. I'm Lourdes Gomez. I work at Miami-Dade County under the supervision of the mayor and the Board of County Commissioners. Laura, we've evaluated this application with the help of the Durham staff, and I know we've talked about this in the past. The impacts to the well field would have to be mitigated by MDX through the manner in which they designed their drainage. It could not impact the well field within the 10-30 day, the appropriate travel time distance. So that we would absolutely, and they will be seeking Durham permits, so we will absolutely ensure that there are not adverse impacts to the well field. And as I know you know this, we have many well fields within the urbanized area that are completely developed with homes, businesses, and industry. And that is why we have a Division of Environmental Resource Management, which has staff that works very hard every day to ensure that the environmental protections that are in place through Chapter 24 in this community are enforced upon the businesses within this community so that they can thrive economically and not adversely impact our area.
Okay, along those same lines, this is the Bird Dry Basin, and I understand that the Water Management District is reevaluating that project. They're using the east and west in their current plan, not just the east section. So how do you put a road through a project that's not yet defined or finished or done or completed?
You know that the SERP footprint is still in question. Not all of the phases of the project have been fully evaluated. So that whatever pathway MDX puts their alignment through, and they can probably speak to this better than I can, they will go through the appropriate approval process if there's a federal owner, a state owner, whatever that may be. But we can't, I mean, I know you know the complications with the SERP project.
Yes, very well. And so given that, my ask of you, Mr. Mayor, and to your administration, is that you look at potentially 127th Avenue. Right next to that avenue, we have a corridor where all of our power lines go straight up to the 836 and all the way down to 152. So when I asked planners, how would you solve the traffic problem? They said, put a train on that corridor, and then you give people the real option to leave their cars behind, if they want to, without creating a new impact. And so I ask you to vet that and really look at that as an option, because I want to solve traffic problems. I sit in traffic myself. I sat in traffic to get here. So I get it. So I ask you to please evaluate that as an option.
Again, these are not exclusionary in nature. We will evaluate the 127th Avenue corridor for trains, and it has to be financed, et cetera. That's county budget. This is not the county budget. And so, like I said, we're going to be looking at trains. We're going to be looking at different options. This is an option I think that's needed here.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Yes, Carlos Garcia, 12762 Southwest 116th Terrace. I'm with a local grassroots group, rollbacktolls.com. We've been watching MDX since 2010. We've seen a lot of good things and we've seen some bad things. You know what? We usually are kind of negative about some projects. I am leaning towards supporting this project, okay? Now, the thing is that what concerns me is the financial aspect of this, because I have neighbors in and around me that are paying a household, 2 cars, $2,000 to $3,000 a year in tolls right now, okay? And though this is a solution, this is going to cost money. We're talking, that's going to add, an additional toll. Yes, the dollar you'd be paying on the turnpike, you're going to pay it over here, but it's still going to add to the cost. And one thing that I've watched in this agency.
How would they do that, though? If you're using the turnpike now for the same stretch, and you switch over to this side, and it's the same or less, how would it add to the cost?
Well, the thing is that the cost of the new artery right there is going to, if you're going all the way to downtown to today from the turnpike to downtown, round trip is $4.20 with all the toll points.
Okay.
You add this, it could be $6 to $7.
No, it won't be, because again, you're taking the turnpike to the 836. There's a toll on the turnpike. You're taking this to the 836. So we're saying that is going to be the same or less than what you had on the turnpike. You're not increasing the toll at all.
Well, it's the
I
bottom.
mean, look, I gotta show it to you. So, and then
Okay, well,
see.
one thing that this agency has talked a lot about, and I really want everybody to pay attention to this, if they ever come to you and say, we want to do CPI indexing, that is consumer price indexing on tolls like the turnpike did, absolutely stand up and oppose it. And I would like for you to say that you will not, as a board member, not support any ideas of CPI indexing.
What I can tell you is that I have to abide by state law. So we got to take a look from our attorneys what the state law is making us do. All right, state law was just passed. So I don't have that yet, but maybe you can come to the board meeting to get educated.
Oh, I'm coming back.
Come
Believe
back.
me.
No, come and tell, and then what the penalties are to us if we don't abide by state law.
Okay.
State law that was just passed this last year.
Okay.
We
Thank
don't
you.
want to add CPI, by the way.
Listen, I'm glad that
Next
I'm
speaker.
glad you're on the board now. I'm really glad. Okay, thank you.
Next speaker.
Yes, sir.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Mayor. Federico. I live on 72nd Street, Sunset, and 167th Avenue. So our house is right on the lake that's right next to the highway. And everyone that lives from that little area that turns left all the way down to Kendall Drive is going to be really affected by this highway because it's too close to the homes.
Okay.
We are severely allergic, we're severely asthmatic, and when you guys announced this project, we immediately began plans to sell the house because we cannot deal with the asthma and the allergies coming off of that highway. Now, this would be mitigated perhaps if the highway was moved further west. Now,
Okay.
me and my whole family, we were against the project, we kind of are, but we understand that trying to stop this is like trying to stop the Union Pacific Railroad in the Wild West. It's going to get built. Okay?
No, not necessarily. That's what we're
So,
here.
compromise, right? You guys want compromise.
Okay.
If we push this highway further west,
Okay.
and in order to stop the developers from trying to build on that little strip of land that's left over, right, putting development pressure, what we could do is create a park, not just the linear bike path that's like this thin, but we can build a park from maybe not 8th Street, but that whole section of the people that live on 167th Avenue. We could build a park, a fat park, that's like Tropical Park. When we want to go to a park, we have to go all the way to Tropical Park and congest everybody's lives, trying to get to a nice park that has bike paths and everything. But if you moved it further west and you build a fat park all along 167th Avenue, you could stop the noise, you could stop a little bit of the pollution. The noise pollution is going to be horrible, the light pollution. So instead of building a thin bikeway, fat park, all along 167th.
2 minutes.
Okay?
Please, there's a lot of people that have filled out cards.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, good evening. My name is Isabel Martel. I live on 5501 Southwest 138 Court, and I support this project 100%. And many, many families gonna support it too. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Victor Hernandez, 6180 Southwest 158th Pass. The only comment I had, I've already expressed this before, but never to this forum, we need to not be short-sighted, let that extension come down to 152nd Street and leave it there. That's the only thing I need to add.
That's been considered too, sir, all the way to 152nd, and bring it back to the turnpike, like a beltway? No, you don't want that? Okay, fair enough. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Commissioner, Mayor Jimenez. I want to thank you for coming out and seeing us. Sometimes I feel like we're so behind, we're not listened to, and I want to thank everybody here on staff. I just want to say that whether or not I support this, I'm not quite sure yet, because I know we have to come up with a solution. However,
Can I correct you? This is not the solution. There is no solution. This is a solution, all right? We have to take all of the above. Okay, go ahead.
So so with that being said, as well, you've heard many other individuals talking about this train. And coming from New York, when I came here in 1983, I remember seeing the Metro Rail, and one of the things I said was, wow, this is gonna be great. Well, that never happened.
Right.
And I don't know all the logistics of it, and I know you say that that's something that you're gonna look into. You also said to compromise, and you also said, and I don't wanna bring up the fact that, you know, we saw this development happening, and now you came on board, and they didn't put any of this in place. But why don't we just start really thinking hard and really thinking about putting mass transit? My son, not everybody can afford a car, and not everybody can afford insurance. And my son is trying to get a job over at Lorica in South Dade. Waited for a bus on 107th Avenue. An hour later, the bus never showed up. And I encourage him to get employment, encouraging him to get a degree at FIU. He doesn't have transportation right now. And so I can't afford to give him a car, and I can't afford to get him insurance. So I just want to thank you, because we're putting something, at least finally, we're on the map. But please, please, please think of those individuals, even senior citizens.
And ma'am, like I said, this is not exclusionary. The people that know me, most of my day, a lot of my day, is really taken up on how are we going to solve the traffic problem of Miami-Dade. What kind of technology, what kind of right-of-way, what are we going to put here, what are we going to put there? And there's this saying that everybody wants to go to heaven, nobody wants to die, okay? Then, you know, when we put up the numbers for some of these things, you go, whoa, wait, and eventually we all have to pay for that. So I want to make sure that whatever we use as solutions, and I've used plural solutions, not solution, right, is something that will last into the future. And it's not something that will be obsolete in 5, 10 years. So I'm constantly looking for new things, looking at new transportation methods, monorail, heavy rail, light rail, all kinds of stuff, okay? And they're constantly coming to us. We have a smart plan. We have to execute that smart plan. We're right now in the study phase of that smart plan. But in addition to that smart plan, and by the way, this helps the smart plan, I think we need to do this to bring you relief much faster than anything that we can do with the smart plan, because all of that, because of federal regulations and state regulations, it takes years to accomplish, unfortunately.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
It's 9 o'clock, but we're going to try a couple more names at 1 minute. Wilson Cristanello, Monica Escobedo, David Madison, Philip Engelman, Lázaro Quintana, Robert Verhel.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor Carlos Jimenez. My name is Alfredo E. Diaz. My address is 14930 Southwest 41st Lane. I would like to say thank you for Kendall Parkway. I support this project. The main reason is congestion relief. And Kendall Parkway is a blessing for me and for my family.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for coming. Thanks for keeping us in mind and taking the time to be here. My name is Wilson Cristancho, 15080 Southwest 49 Lane. I live in Lake Somero and I've been a resident here with Kendall for over 30 years. I want to ask you something in relation to the financing of the project. Is this a concessionaire type project, or is MDX owns it and they're just going to have a bond that will be financed? Or is there any other creative business models you're thinking of that maybe will have like some clause that the prices will be up on the tolls and then there will be a sunset period that we can benefit later?
I believe we're viewing this as